Hi, it's the 29th of April. I'm very hot inside my car at the moment, and we're going to camp tonight at a disused rocket engine testing site at the Needles on the Isle of Wight, part of the Black Knight project. Now, we're going to actually sleep in a concrete area, the pump rooms, and we don't need a tent, but we definitely do need a footer, so to speak, or a ground sheet, because people use it as a toilet sometimes. So yeah, hopefully we won't be disturbed. Like anywhere else, it's not legal to camp there, but it's National Trust land, and I don't think we're going to do much harm inside a concrete bunker. I'll show you more when we get there. So we're off to BRIGHSTONE now. I'm going to pick up my friend first, off to BRIGHSTONE, and then we're going to walk from there 10 miles, and I'll show you a few things along the way. Let's get going. So this is a lovely little lane here from North Street. The library there, the village library, and there's a museum. I think there's a plaque up here for someone that's a famous paleontologist. I'll have a look when I get up there in a minute. When I say paleontologist, without you looking at your dictionary, I'm not insulting your intelligence, but someone that's an expert on fossils. Yeah, here. Reverend William Fox, pioneer fossil collector. So amateur paleontologist, 1862 and 1881 lived here. As I said before in previous videos, the Isle of Wight's very famous for its fossils. We're going up there, so onwards and upwards. We're just coming up to the Long Stone here. Now, the Long Stone, there's a lot of stories about it, i.e. it was a druid temple and etc, etc, but no one's quite sure. I'll show you a little sign about it in a minute, but here it is. It's got one line down which probably fell down. Some people think that's the burial chamber. A lot of pagans come up here and basically hug it, really. I've been up here at night time doing astrophotography, and people have just turned up and hugged it and gone back down again. So it's a little bit strange. But I'll show you a little bit about it. There's a little sign up here, so a little bit of information, I should say. It's a hard green sandstone. It's definitely been put there, and the name of the village here is MOTTISTONE, and that means moot stone in Saxon, really, being sort of changed over the years. So this is the moot stone for the Saxons, but it predates the Saxons, but it used to meet here. So I'll show you a little bit more about it on this sign up here. So I'll read this out. The Long Stone is probably the island's best known but most misunderstood prehistoric monument. It is the remains of a 6,000-year-old Neolithic communal long barrow burial place. So there was bodies there. The history of the Long Stone is shrouded in mystery and myth. The long burial mound runs away to the left, so that stone on the ground is in fact a burial mound. But much has been damaged over the centuries. Two stones stood at the eastern end, aligned with the rising sun. Bodies were possibly laid out to allow birds and animals to feed off the carcasses. Then the remaining bodies were later buried inside a chamber and the soil heaped up into a mound. Saxon meeting place. We don't know much about the estate during the Saxon period, although the name Mottistone may be a derivation of the word moot, which is Saxon for meeting place, mootstone. This suggests that the Long Stone was where the court of the local 100 or group of parishes would meet. The stones have been moved from their original position by the mid-1800s, the Victorians messing around with things. The long barrow remained intact until the 1700s, when it was disturbed by quarrying and later excavation in 1850 and 1956. They cared less about things in those days. So yeah, that's the Long Stone basically, and that's it over there, and I'll show you more when I get over there. So here it is. That's the stone lying down where the burial mound was. This is the stone itself. And it is a very hard green sandstone, but it was put here by humans. As I said, there was more stones here marked to the east and the west for the rising and setting sun. I've got a picture of this. I might put it onto the video as well. Really good picture of the sun rising over there. Look at this gorse here. That's a view towards the Needles there. Yeah, what a beautiful view. It's not that sunny, but it's still a nice view. We're going to make our way towards Compton Farm, come out on the coast there, walk along that top there and get to the Needles rocket site. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Of course, the bluebells are out now. Unusual little hole here, goes out both sides. You could even spend a night in there, crawl in. It's like a hobbit hole if you were in a desperate place, it was raining, you could probably camp in there. So, Compton Farm down there, campsite, really nice campsite by the way, and there's not a lot of sun around, but I reckon we get a reasonable sunset when we get to the Needles. I mean, it's a classic photographic shot. Onwards and upwards, we've got about another, I would say 7 kilometers to go. So yeah, we're not far away really. We're not rushing because it's a very busy place, the Needles. People come up a lot, even late into the night. So we want to be unseen, so to speak. So we don't care about getting up there at 7 or 8 o'clock because yeah, there's less people around, but there will be people up there even at that time. So we've got to be careful. We want people to know we're camping there because the Coast Guard are up there, etc, etc. So we've got to be careful. But nice view. I've shown about the sun, but it's still a nice view. Yeah, look at this. I don't know what this is exactly. I don't think it's sea thrift, but isn't it beautiful? I'll have to try Google Lens. If you never use Google Lens, look it up. You've got an Android phone or an iPhone, it can recognize plants really well. So I'm going to do that now. When I finish, I'll tell you what plant it is. Well, apparently it's called HOARY stock, H-O-A-R-Y. It's a member of the Brassica family, like obviously broccoli and stuff like that, and cabbages. So yeah, beautiful plant. I've never seen it before. Normally I'm used to seeing sea thrift here, so it's quite unusual to see it. So beautiful plant. Talk about the bleeding obvious. Flowers get left here for an obvious reason. People jump off here. These are the 2 rocks I must have photographed so many times in my life. I've sold this photograph many times. In fact, I'll probably attach it to this video. But when the sun's setting, you can get a really good shot here when the tide's in as well. A bit boring with the tide out, as a matter of fact. But part of it fell off the other day, down on that bottom corner there. Try and zoom in a little bit. So, yeah, part of that bottom corner fell off. So it's slowly going into the sea. So like everything else on the Isle of Wight, it's getting closer to the sea every day because it's made up of sedimentary rock. So obviously it erodes very quickly, not like granite or other igneous rock. You won't see it. I'm going to give it a go though. There is a black-headed gull on that rock there on the top right, and it's always there, and they nest there every year. Well, not the same ones, but there's always a black-headed gull there. Lots of ravens and peregrine falcons around here as well. Freshwater bay, as you can see here. So that's the edge of the cliff there. I don't want to get too close. As I say, it's a very classic view. Taken photographs it many times. I will put them onto the video. Yeah, we're going to make our way around up there. Pretty boring until we get to the top, Tennyson Monument. I'll show you a bit more. At the moment, I'm going to turn off because the rest of this is going to be a bit samey. And the rain's starting to come in a little bit. So just to show you, that's the run of the cliffs going round to the Needles there. Looking back, Black Gang, Freshwater Bay, coming up to the Tennyson Monument, which you can't see at the moment. Beautiful fresh breeze. I'm not sweating, it's quite nice, but I'm not cold. This ARCTERYX Atom SL is really good. Thin arms, bit of padding on the body, but extremely breathable, and that's what I like about it. I said I balked at the price at first, but after I've been wearing it, it's my go-to piece of kit. I plan to get a slightly thicker one. I can't remember what it's called now, the Atom AR, which means all round. Like all these companies, they make things really confusing. If you want to buy trousers from FJALLRAVEN, then you really will be confused because they've got about 70 different pairs of trousers. So here we are, my friend's here already. Hurst Castle, looking towards the Needles there. We've still got a long way to go actually, and I'll show you the inscription in a minute when my friends moved away from that sort of little monument there. This is the monument. That's my sat-nav thing going on my phone. Outdoor Active. It's taken over from View Ranger. If you know View Ranger, it's now Outdoor Active. They still support View Ranger, but going forward, it's Outdoor Active. It's a German company. Whether they've done a deal with each other, I don't know. It's got its problems, I have to be honest. So Outdoor Active, I was a little bit dubious, but plotting routes on a phone is pretty easy. I'm just going to go to this sort of monument thing here and read the inscription out. Yeah, sunset, an evening star, and one clear call for me. And may there be no moaning of the bar when I put out to sea. And that was an analogy to the fact he was coming across to die, so he's crossing that bar there. Some people don't think that's right, but most academics do. So we're just coming up to the Needles now. There's rain threatening. You can see where the sun's going to set, basically. So in a minute, the Needles are coming to view. That's obviously the Needles. Now, this is the rocket testing site where you see those concrete bits. I'll show you in more detail when we get down there. We're going to kip or hunker down in there. So there was three, oh, I think it was 2 or 3, or maybe 2, and they had these rockets there, and they just used to test the engines because they couldn't fire them from here. They used to go to Western Australia. They were part of some system where they were going to, I think, intercept Russian missiles, but it turned out to be a failure. It cost a lot of money. Well, times don't really change, do they? So that was a lot of public money got wasted. So it was, you know, secret out round here. You weren't allowed round here, and they tested the engines there. And we're going to go into the underneath of that rocket testing where the engines sort of blasted down and camp in there, basically. Well, not camp exactly, we're on concrete. A lot of people do use them as toilets and come in to smoke drugs, etc. And I wouldn't be surprised if people came up here tonight, because the local youth come up to places like this to sort of do things in private, so to speak. Drugs and other things, but yeah, so we might be disturbed, hopefully not. I have been disturbed up here before, late at night. I wasn't camping, I was doing astrophotography down there at 3 o'clock in the morning, and 2 youths turned up and offered me drugs, basically, which I said no to. So yeah, that's the 2 places where they used to test the rockets. I think there's actually a 3rd one there, I'm not 100% sure. My friend's going down in there now, so we're going to have a look and see if we can get comfortable for the night, so to speak. I think there's one here as well. I'm going to have a look at it while he's looking at that one. So it's not wild camping as such, but it's definitely different. Let's make my way down here. Let's have a look round. So the engines would sit in there, and all they do is just test the rockets. In fact, my friend's dad used to work here. I've had other friends' dads used to work here as well. But anyway, you could even go underneath that shelf there, but with the wind blowing like this, I don't particularly, because I haven't got a bivvy bag, I don't particularly want to be in the wind. But maybe, without the shelter, if it doesn't rain tonight, that doesn't look too bad. I might even go into not into the pit, but there. Let's have a look and see what we got. That doesn't look comfortable. Plenty of wire around here though. 2 barbecues, people obviously been barbecuing down here. Maybe I could get into there out of the wind, but I will be seen from the road. But I'd have to do a lot of clearing to get in there. If it doesn't rain tonight, I'll probably be all right, but it doesn't look that comfortable. I'm frightened about bursting my thermarest. Though I have got, I said footage earlier on, I meant to say a ground sheet type thing, and I can't remember what they call them. The guy underneath tents, my mind's gone blank. Anyway, I'm going to make my way across to this one here with my friends in and see if that's any better. We might be able to get some shelter in that one. This place is riven with rabbit holes, and you've got to be really careful you don't break your ankle. This looks promising. So I'm going to squeeze my way in here. Well, yeah, we could probably get away with this. So my friend's in there, in the dark. See this old gate's not moving, or metal gate. Look around it, I've got my sack on, so there's even a place in there. So, in fact, I can see a bit of a tent in there. So maybe This is not such an original idea as I thought it was. But anyway, it's very dark in there, but we'll probably clear something out, and that's where we're going to stay for the night. So I missed the sunset, it's gone down, it's 2023. But yeah, it wasn't particularly spectacular anyway. Probably tomorrow I'll go down there and show you the needles. As you can see, we're in the bunkers. That's what they look like from the outside. We're in this one here. I'll show you inside in a minute when we got our torches on, because it's getting quite dark quite quickly. So I don't really want to go inside just yet. No, I was thinking about camping out here, but let's think about it. So this is where we're camping. Hope you can hear me still. So we're not going to go in that bit there. It stinks of sump oil and it's full of junk. Though there's a little bit there I could camp in actually. I wanted to. What we're going to do is go up these steps here. And this is not the nicest of places, but I'm going to keep down there. It's warm in here actually. It's trapped the heat a little bit. My friend's going to go there, so yeah, it'll do for the night. Probably won't get the best night's sleep. There's someone in a van above us. We reckon they're going to stay there the night. You can see the pipes that let the exhaust fumes out as well. Yeah. So yeah. We've got some house martins in here, and they're nesting in that pipe there by the looks of it, so, oh well, they're going to have to put up with us. I will point out the other building is actually, we could probably get in there. This one here, I've looked in now, there's actually parts in there we could camp in. I'm just going to have a look again. So, I'm going to break my neck here. Big metal doors that are rusted in. Just smells a bit of oil. But no. So yeah, we've got two house martins. I think once they roost in, yeah, they're in that corner there, you can see them. Sorry, boys and girls, but we're gonna have to come in here. Don't worry about us, just get into your little place. We're gonna go down there. So don't worry, we'll be fine. Oh, I didn't expect that. So I'm a little bit worried about disturbing them, but once they go back into their hole, it should be all right. I just hope they haven't got eggs, but they'll just hopefully ignore us and go into the hole and roost down. Right, let's go back out. We're going to stay out here till it gets dark before we go in there. And out we go. Back out. So here, well, I'm set up for the night with my friend. I know we're disturbing those house martins up there and I really feel guilty about it, but once we turn the lights off and they settle down, they'll go back on their nest. So we're here for the night. There's someone above us and they were smoking a cigarette that smelled a bit different to normal cigarettes, but they said they would come up here for the view, but they obviously come up here to camp because they're in a van as well, they're living in a van. So we both know each other are there, so we're not going to disturb each other. Young bloke with a surfboard and a bike on his van, so yeah, he's not going to disturb us. And he stops the local use from parking above as well. Well, it's 8 o'clock. I had a reasonable good night's sleep actually. The house martins are around somewhere, so as you can see, not that bad. And my external microphone has failed again. I won't say the company's name, but it's quite a well-known brand, so hopefully you can hear this. Well, my friend camped there, I camped here. Did I have a good night? Yeah, it's all right. The house martins are awake, but they went to bed last night, so we didn't disturb them that much. But obviously it's 8 o'clock in the morning and they're flying around. We heard some strange noises whilst we were here. I can't believe it, someone's put a doggy bag up there, used one of course. But it's unusual to see them early, this early in the year nesting. My guess is there's a certain amount of warmth in here, and probably that's why they nested early. I think they might even have chicks, that's why they're really panicking. But anyway, We're going to get a move on soon because there's rain coming in. We've got to walk back to BRIGHSTONE. I'll show you the needles in a minute properly. I'll go down and show you them. So before I make my way back, we might even go a different way back so I can give you a few different bits of footage of the Isle of Wight. But if it's the same way back, it's what we've seen before, but I'll still probably do a few bits and pieces. Yeah, I've got to get back because I've got an optician's appointment. So yeah, for these glasses. Anyway, let's shut down now and pack this up, and then I'll show you the needles. These are the steps up to the road where we had someone staying up here last night, obviously in camping in a van or whatever, and that's the view. And there's rabbits everywhere. In fact, the van's still there, so he's still there. We're going to make our way down there. So I'm going to walk across this very pothole-ridden grass to that ledge there. And we're coming to the cliff edge here. Got to be slightly careful. It is chalk. Yeah, don't do this at home, folks. I don't want to slip here. Oh dear. Shall I just quickly show you what's going on down here? So I have to have very sure feet here because my selfie sticks is 6 inches long and I'm on the edge of the cliff here. So looking at my feet, you can see why it's a little bit risky. It's very clear, the sea. It's gonna be great for snorkeling this year. I haven't done it for a while. I need to get back into it. But yeah, there's the needles. That's the needles battery. There's tunnels all over this place, which the URBEX people go into. That's Scratchell's Bay, by the way. So yeah, but be careful. I'm a bit unsteady on my feet because I haven't long been awake. And that's the rocket sites from a distance. So one there, one we slept in, and there's one there. So the one we slept in has more indoor space, but there's a front coming in about 3 o'clock and we've got quite a long walk, so we better get cracking. Anyway, onwards and upwards.
Well, at this point, my very expensive external microphone started to fail, or failed me. I couldn't see that on the back of the camera, so I just carried on talking. But basically, we packed up, made our way into Allen Bay, onto Heaton Warren, and made our way back home. It did start to rain, so I stopped recording. Overall, it was a great trip. I really enjoyed sleeping in that rocket testing site. I had a good night's sleep, but as you saw, there were people above us in a van. Some nights up there might be up to 5 or 6 cars with local youths, that gives my age away, doing all sorts of things. Use your imagination. So we probably won't do it again, but overall I really enjoyed the trip.